The following podcast is a Dear Media production.
That Austin trip, I was pretty sure I was pregnant.
That's insane.
And I had told Jackie and Pia, and they were like the first two people that I had told that I was thinking that I was pregnant. And they were great secret keepers. They didn't tell anybody. And I was really impressed because I was like, why did I tell them? Like, that's like so weird of me. I don't know them super well. But anyway,
No, I'm glad you didn't tell me because I don't know if your secret would have been safe.
Oh, that's good to know.
I would have like posted it to the world. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so tell us what you do. You're from...
Okay, I'm from Santa Clarita, California, which is suburb of LA.
Right.
And Santa Clarita actually named itself Awesome Town. So,
yeah,
I love that. It's not at all.
It's not at all forced.
No, No, my mom's like a realtor in Santa Clarita, and her Instagram is literally Santa Clarita Valley Holly, and she gets really mad when I talk bad about Santa Clarita. I'm like, sorry. Okay, but I'm from Santa Clarita, and I went to college for a year in San Diego State, went there, and then after a year, I thought, now I need to go be a Texas college student, and I transferred to Texas Christian University. And then I finished college there, graduated 22. And now I started working for an influencer management company, and now I do marketing for Spritz Society.
Right, which Spritz Society is owned by Claudia, the Autries.
Yes.
Right, is it Claudia and Ben who own it? Okay.
And so everyone's like, do you work with them? And
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, that is literally my team, and they are just as amazing as, you know.
Yeah,
people think they
that
are.
sounds like such fun bosses to have.
Oh, it is. And, you know, they're influencers, so they're just so, like, in the know with everything. And they just get, you know.
They get the vibes.
Yeah, it's really fun. And if you ever see anything on social media from Spritz, that's me.
I feel like, so I'm from Utah, and I don't feel like anybody really has the like classic college experience. I shouldn't say not anybody has. That's way too broad. But I personally didn't have a super classic like college experience because, well, I grew up Mormon. And so I didn't like party in college. I didn't like date a lot, anything like that. I lived at home for so much of it. So now that I feel like now I am learning what like normal college life is like.
Yeah.
Like I'm almost 30 and I'm like, so that's what people did when they were in college. That sounds really fun. I feel like I missed out on like, because you loved your college experience.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, I didn't at San Diego State, and so that's why I transferred, because I wanted that college experience.
Right.
I dreamed about that.
Going to college in Texas, like, I mean, it's like a big deal. People love their colleges till their dying day. Like, they go back to football games. Like, I am jealous of that.
No, it's insane. If I have one goal in this life, it's to get rich, to have a building named after me there. So.
Wow, that is a really good goal.
Thank you.
Yeah, my goal when I started the podcast was I wanted to get famous enough to judge a baking competition on Food Network. But that's like still my goal.
Oh my gosh.
Like I'm just waiting. And somebody did reach out to me like in Utah, and they were like, we're doing like a local pie testing contest. Do you want to do it? And I was like, I couldn't do it for some reason, but I was like, this is
step in the right direction.
These are baby steps. Kenzie, who is Macy's best friend, it wasn't her first live show, was it?
No. So she's had ones in Dallas, Chicago, and Nashville. And I guess that's where a ton of her listeners are. And that's like really big.
she's a very Texas girl.
Yes. Yeah. And so she's had live shows there. I have never been to one. And she was like, I'm doing this LA show. I have no idea how it's going to be, because you just never know with LA. You know, people like saying LA is so broad. Like saying you're having an LA show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so let me just give some background. Kenzie will have these Dallas events all the time, like book clubs, you know, events. And I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'm kind of a hit there, you know? Like, we'll have
You're
these...
like, I kill.
Yes.
I kill when I'm there.
No, like, she has these book clubs, and I'm not going to lie, I see all your stories. I'm not a huge reader, and I need to be. I just am not.
It's fine. I just became one about 3 weeks ago.
Okay,
so,
I know it would just take me one to, you know, get in.
Yeah.
I did have my Colleen Hoover phase, but Kenzie's a huge reader. I don't read, but I go to these book clubs that she hosts.
Yeah.
And I'm just there for, you know, entertainment. And people love it. I could say the most morbid thing at this, like, these book clubs. Like, oh, my cat just died. And people would crack up. So I was like, oh my gosh, like Kenzie's followers, they love me. Like anything I say, they're going to giggle. And so when Kenzie brought up this live show, she was like, oh my gosh, are you going to come? And I was like, yes. And then we kind of went back and forth. Oh, you should just open it up. And I was like, perfect. I'm not going to have anything.
Well, because that's like kind of the vibe. When I met you, I was like, you could do podcasting or like stand up or something like that. Like, I feel like you really could.
Thank you. And so.
And should.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, she had a little, you know, green room backstage where all of her guests, TK was there, Taylor King, who else was there?
Dom.
Tristan, Dom.
Yeah. Peyton.
Peyton Sarton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tristan Watson. He's my new love of my life.
Yeah.
We had a connection like we did. When
That's
we met.
that's how I feel about Dom, and I didn't
Oh
even
my
meet her, and
gosh.
I was obsessed with her.
No, me and Dom are also connected. Every one of Kenzie's friends I'm obsessed with. But all the guests were backstage, and we were going through what I was gonna introduce as, and I was having so many jokes. I was gonna have everyone take a photo of me and be like, I don't want to see any angles that I don't approve of. I had so many bits in my back pocket. I get up there and just stares. And like, I'm not being dramatic. And my mom was there and she was like, Macy, this is a very rough crowd.
It was Kate, the style.
Anyone that was there, it's not, because people came up afterwards and they were like, I wanted to laugh, but then people around me weren't. So it was no one in the audience's fault. It was just a weird environment.
It was a weird setup.
Yes.
Like I don't even want to say weird because it wasn't weird.
It was beautiful.
The venue was gorgeous. It was at this hotel. It was outside. But yeah, the like setup of it was like I don't even know how to describe it. Like there were tables and couches and people having cocktails and stuff. So it's not like, it didn't feel like you were going to sit and like watch a show almost. I don't know.
I felt like you were at a restaurant.
But also, I gotta say this. So I like literally never, people are always like, oh, when are you gonna do live shows? You must be such a good public speaker. I'm like, first of all, I record alone in a room. Like public speaking doesn't feel like part of my job. Like just because I put it out there, I'm not like talking in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
So public speaking still freaks me out. I've done 2 live shows in my entire life, and both times I came off and I was like, I got no response. Like nobody laughed, nobody made a noise. It feels worse when you're up there, because then I would see videos of it and I was like, oh, that was like not what I thought was happening when I was on stage.
Yeah.
And then Kenzie and Dom and the other girls came on stage. First of all, I was cackling.
Me too.
And no one around me was laughing. I was like, am I like on glue? Like, I don't get it. Why is it? I thought it was going to be like an uproar of giggles.
Dom would say something like Dom was giving a story time about this man that took the subway to be different to Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah.
I was dying, and I would like, get the audience reaction.
And I would hear like one like snicker from like the back, and I was like, what? But I just didn't. I think that people were just there to observe, and like, I don't know.
And that's totally fine.
But I really did think you did great.
Thank you so much. But I think moving forward, if I ever do anything live again, we're gonna have a little pre-screening, and we're gonna send out a list of jokes, and I'm gonna get a live reaction from them. Maybe we'll do a Zoom call.
Yes,
and
do some crowd, test it on the crowd.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I really am not a stand-up comedian. That wasn't the goal at all. I just wanted to, do some icebreakers.
Yeah, just be silly.
And sometimes it's not reciprocated, but I've always said, imagine being a stand-up comedian and no one laughing at you. I was like, that is such a stressful job. I was like, comedians have such a stressful job. Imagine people not laughing at you. And that came true.
I feel like it would honestly be good for me in a lot of ways to like have do that and have nobody laugh at me, because you kind of have to get over that. Like, I need to get over people disapproving or not liking me, and what better way to do it than to have them do it directly to your face?
I actually think it's something that every person should do. If you have been wondering, like, I want to get out of my comfort zone, or if you've been, a little too arrogant lately, I think that you should go in front of a crowd and just talk.
Yes, and just see how people react to you.
And not a crowd that you pick, like we're talking about, But no, it honestly was inspiring. One, it was a villain origin story, because I feel like maybe, 10 years down the road, if I ever do something, I could be like, you guys, like, this was
right. Well, and people are going to be like, I was at her first show.
No, and 5 girls did come up to me afterwards, and they were like, we're here for you.
Yeah, literally.
they liked it.
That was what, I know Kenzie, obviously, and I was there, but I was like, well, I'm going to go because Macy's there. Yes. Like, I was literally there for that.
Thank
so
you.
Just know.
It was a villain origin story for, down the road if I ever need, a sob story to tell that, catapulted me. And it also was inspiring to me to never quit my day job, because, I do marketing for Spritz Society full time, and I was never thinking about quitting, but, you see everyone on TikTok every day being like, I just quit my full-time job to be an influencer. And that was a really good sign that, hey, babe, you never need to do that,